Additionally, I used an XY setup to record myself bowing a run-down acoustic guitar that I found in our storage room at the bunker. In the reverberant concrete room, it sounded quite hauntingly lush with its varied degrees of detuning. I took the liberty of sprucing up the bowed guitar recording a bit to make it sound a little even more haunting and atmospheric. I'll play back the original for a quick second. In this example, the pitch is a bit lower as the clip is set to re-pitch and the master tempo is 3 BPM less than it was originally recorded. Re-pitch is a great choice for pitching up or down audio without creating artifacts. In re-pitch mode, Live doesn't really time stretch or compress the audio. Instead, it adjusts the playback rate to create the desired amount of stretching. I've created another group effects chain that I'll walk you through. Once more, I've added a bit of EQ and compression, just to give it a little bit more cohesion. I'll take a minute to talk about how I set my EQ. To get rid of unwanted frequencies, I start by identifying which frequencies I want to boost or attenuate. In this case, I'm hearing a bit of resonance in the mid-range that I find unpleasant. To make locating the frequency easier, boost the gain of a single band with a tight Q setting and sweep until you locate it. In most cases, just a little reduction or boost will do. I recommend not getting too crazy with your EQ settings unless there's a good reason to do so. A little bit can go a long way. Don't let me digress too much though. EQing is a whole lesson unto its own right, but indeed a very important one. I'll go ahead and turn on the other effects one at a time. I've programmed some of the settings for the crystallizer ahead of time. It's mixed in about half wet so I can still hear the original sound of the bowed guitar. It's adding a bit of grain pitch shift, 11 cents worth, some delay and a decent amount of recycle. The recycle knob is essentially a feedback control, allowing you to send the output of the effect signal back into the input at varying amounts. Turning up the control will generate repeating, spiraling pitch effects, and depending on the setting, the pitch knob can create upward or downward spirals. I've also added a PSP Springbox Verb. I love PSP and they make some quality plugins. I'm simply using the Springbox to add a little deeper sense of space. I'll turn all the effects on together now and we can listen. I'm quite happy with that, but I'll show you a few more design options. I'll duplicate the clip and rename it so that we have another instance. Reversing a sustained sound like this normally leads to compelling results. This is a quick offline process that I do by hitting the reverse button. Already a wicked transformation. I'll quickly audition a few sections. Live's warp modes are excellent sound shaping tools unto themselves. What happens if I stretch my audio by tricking Live into thinking the clip was originally recorded at 944 BPM? I do this by hitting the double original tempo button several times. Voila, instant atmosphere. What about switching over to texture mode? This sounds closer to the original recording, but far slower and stretched. I can play around with adjusting the grain size and the flux settings to shape the playback. This adds more variation to shifting sounds over time. Super useful. I'll set the segment BPM back a notch, and this will alter the sound as well. Warp modes are powerful sound shaping features. These should not be underestimated or overlooked. When you're grasping for a new direction, start by looking here for inspiration.